In the vast and often brutal theater of the natural world, survival takes on countless forms, each a testament to millions of years of evolutionary refinement. We often associate success in this realm with overwhelming strength, formidable size, or impenetrable defenses. Yet, hidden within the intricate tapestry of life, there exist strategies so cunning, so sophisticated, they defy our conventional understanding of predator and prey. These are not tales of simple overpowering force, but of intricate manipulation, of biological warfare waged on a microscopic scale. Here, intelligence and precision become the ultimate weapons, allowing a creature to dominate another not by crushing it, but by seizing control of its very will, turning it into an unwitting accomplice in its own demise. Imagine, if you will, a creature capable of hijacking the mind of another living being. This is not a concept born from the pages of science fiction, nor is it a scene from a macabre horror film. It is a real and startlingly effective survival mechanism perfected by a single remarkable insect. This process involves no crude violence, no messy struggle for dominance. Instead, it is a delicate and precise surgical procedure, executed with a cocktail of neurotoxins so specialized that it can dismantle an organism's most fundamental instincts. The victim is not killed, but is instead transformed into a mindless, docile slave, a living incubator for the predator's offspring, a zombie in the truest biological sense of the word. This master manipulator is the Emerald Cockroach Wasp, a creature whose stunning iridescent beauty belies its chilling life cycle. Known to science as Ampulex compressa, this diminutive insect has earned a reputation as nature's real-life necromancer, a master of mind control. Its entire existence is built around a singular, astonishing feat, the subjugation of the common cockroach. The wasp's method is a marvel of evolutionary engineering, a multi-stage process that systematically dismantles the cockroach's neurological defenses, rendering it powerless to resist its grim fate. This interaction is one of the most complex and fascinating examples of parasitism known to science, a dance of death choreographed with unnerving accuracy. In this deep exploration, we will journey into the world of this extraordinary insect, dissecting one of the most mind-blowing predator-prey relationships on Earth. We will uncover the secrets behind its venom, the precision of its sting, and the intricate steps it takes to ensure the survival of its lineage. The story of the Emerald Cockroach Wasp is a narrative that reads more like a chilling thriller than a standard biology textbook, a powerful reminder that the world beneath our feet is filled with wonders and horrors that can easily rival our most imaginative fictions. Prepare to enter the microcosmos, a realm where the lines between life, death, and unwilling servitude become hauntingly blurred. The Emerald Cockroach Wasp operates with a level of precision that would be the envy of a human neurosurgeon. Its approach is not one of random aggression. It is a calculated and methodical assault on the cockroach's central nervous system. When the female wasp identifies a suitable host, often a cockroach many times her own size, she does not engage in a prolonged or chaotic battle. Instead, she executes a swift, two-part attack. The first sting is delivered to the cockroach's thoracic ganglion, a cluster of nerve cells that controls its front legs. This initial injection of venom induces a temporary and reversible paralysis, immobilizing the prey for just a few critical minutes, preventing its immediate escape while setting the stage for the main event. This initial paralysis is merely a prelude to the wasp's true masterpiece of biological manipulation. With the cockroach momentarily subdued, the wasp repositions itself for the second, far more critical injection. This is the sting that targets the brain itself. Using highly sensitive receptors on her stinger, she carefully probes the cockroach's head capsule to locate the specific neural ganglia responsible for initiating the escape response, the very seat of the cockroach's will to flee from danger. It is a search for a neurological bullseye, a tiny target within the complex architecture of the insect brain. This act requires incredible anatomical knowledge, an innate map of its victim's internal wiring that has been perfected over generations. The venom delivered in this second sting is a complex chemical cocktail, a neurotoxin that does not kill but instead masterfully rewires the victim's brain. Specifically, it blocks the action of a neurotransmitter called octopamine, which is crucial for initiating complex movements like walking and running. The result is profound and deeply unsettling. The cockroach is not paralyzed in the traditional sense, it remains fully capable of movement. However, it has lost all motivation to move on its own accord. Its survival instinct, its innate desire to run from a threat, has been chemically erased. the cockroach becomes a listless, docile creature, fully awake but utterly stripped of its ability to act. This state of passive obedience is precisely what the wasp requires for the next stage of its life cycle. The cockroach is now a living, breathing but mentally vacant vessel. The wasp can now guide its much larger victim with ease, without force or struggle. This remarkable feat highlights a key principle of evolution. Success is not always about being the strongest or the fastest. In the case of Ampulex compressa, evolution has favored a different path, one of intricate knowledge, chemical subtlety, and the strategic disabling of an opponent's mind. It is a stunning display of nature's capacity for creating highly specialized and ruthlessly efficient biological weapons. Once the zombification is complete, the wasp's work transitions from neurological warfare to meticulous preparation. The cockroach, now a compliant automaton, stands by passively as the wasp performs a curious, almost ritualistic act. She carefully uses her mandibles to chew off the ends of the cockroach's antennae, not to disable it further, but to drink the hemolymph, the insect equivalent of blood, that seeps from the wounds. Scientists speculate that this behavior may serve multiple purposes. It could be a way for the wasp to replenish her own energy reserves after the hunt, or perhaps it provides a chemical taste test, allowing her to assess the health and suitability of her chosen host, before committing her offspring to it. With the cockroach's will broken and its health assessed, the wasp assumes the role of a puppeteer. She gently takes hold of one of the severed antennae and begins to lead her zombified victim much like a person walking a dog on a leash. The cockroach, despite being physically able to resist or run, follows her commands without any struggle. It walks when she pulls and stops when she stops, a mindless drone being led to its final resting place. The wasp guides the cockroach back to a pre-selected burrow or crevice, a dark and secluded chamber that will serve as both a tomb and a nursery for her single precious offspring. This grim procession is a quiet, eerie spectacle of absolute control. Inside the burrow, the wasp's ultimate goal becomes clear. She carefully positions the still-living cockroach and then performs the final act of her reproductive mission. She deposits a single white egg, about 2 millimeters in length, onto the soft cuticle of the cockroach's abdomen, typically between its legs. The egg is glued securely in place, ready to begin its gruesome development. Having ensured her progeny has a fresh, living food source, the wasp's maternal duties are nearly complete. She exits the burrow, but not before sealing the entrance with pebbles, twigs, and dirt, entombing the cockroach and her egg inside, safe from other predators and the outside world. The cockroach remains inside this dark chamber, alive but immobile, a prisoner in its own body. It does not eat, it does not drink, and it makes no attempt to escape its sealed tomb. The venom continues to suppress its natural instincts while also having a unique preservative effect, slowing the cockroach's metabolism and preventing the growth of bacteria or fungi that could spoil the forthcoming meal. It is now nothing more than a living larder, a perfectly preserved nursery waiting patiently for the next generation of the Emerald Cockroach Wasp to hatch and begin its feast, a chilling testament to the unforgiving and strategic nature of survival. The story of the Emerald Cockroach Wasp forces us to confront the beautifully horrifying complexity that thrives just beyond our everyday perception. It is a narrative that challenges our anthropocentric views of consciousness, free will, and the very nature of control. While we might find the wasp's methods gruesome, they represent an evolutionary pinnacle of efficiency and resource management. In a world where every meal can be a struggle and the survival of one's offspring is paramount, Ampulex compressa has developed a strategy that guarantees a fresh, protected, and perfectly preserved food source for its young. It is a brutal, yet undeniably brilliant solution to the fundamental challenges of life. This intricate dance between parasite and host serves as a powerful illustration of the relentless pressures of natural selection. Over millions of years, the wasp has evolved not just a potent venom, but an entire suite of behaviors, from the precise sting to the antenna clipping and the entombment, that work in perfect harmony. Likewise, the cockroach has its own set of defenses, yet the wasp has found a way to systematically bypass them, attacking not the body, but the mind. This ongoing evolutionary arms race creates some of the most fascinating and bizarre interactions in the animal kingdom, reminding us that nature's ingenuity often lies in the shadows, in the small-scale dramas that unfold all around us. The life cycle of the Emerald Cockroach Wasp resonates deeply with themes found in human horror and science fiction, from alien parasites to zombie apocalypses. It taps into a primal fear of losing control, of our bodies being used against our will by an external force. This insect is not a monster from fiction, it is a real-world example of a body snatcher, a creature that turns another into a hollow shell for its own purposes. The fact that this process is so deliberate, so surgical, and so successful makes it all the more unsettling. It demonstrates that the most terrifying stories are not always the ones we invent, but the ones that nature has already written. As we delve deeper into this remarkable insect's world, we are invited to look at nature with a renewed sense of wonder, and perhaps, a touch of trepidation. The Emerald Cockroach Wasp is a gateway to understanding the sheer diversity of survival strategies on our planet. It is a testament to the idea that evolution is not a linear path towards greater strength or size, but a branching tree of endless possibilities, some of which are as intricate and disturbing as they are brilliant. Welcome to the microcosmos, a universe of hidden wonders where the rules of life and death are constantly being rewritten in the most unexpected ways. The story of the Emerald Cockroach Wasp begins not in a laboratory or a science fiction novel, but in the warm, humid climates of the Old World. Its native range spans across the tropical regions of South Asia, Southeast Asia, and Africa, where it thrives in the lush, biodiverse environments that also support its chosen prey. Countries like India, the Philippines, and much of sub-Saharan Africa provide the ideal backdrop for this intricate drama of survival to unfold. Here, among the dense foliage and decaying leaf litter of tropical forests and savannas, the wasp has honed its remarkable hunting strategy over countless generations, becoming a specialized and efficient predator within its ecosystem, a vibrant gem hidden in the undergrowth. This wasp is not a creature of desolate wilderness alone. It is also adapted remarkably well to human-altered landscapes. It is frequently found in suburban gardens, agricultural areas, and even urban parks within its native territories. This adaptability is largely due to the ubiquitous nature of its primary target cockroaches of the Periplaneta genus, including the common American cockroach. These resilient insects thrive in close proximity to human settlements, providing the wasp with a readily available and consistent supply of hosts. As a result, the wasp's geographic distribution has, in some ways, followed the spread of its prey, making it a familiar, if often misunderstood resident of many populated tropical zones. In an interesting turn of events driven by human activity, the Emerald Cockroach Wasp's range is no longer confined to the Old World. It was intentionally introduced to Hawaii by entomologists in 1941 as a potential biological control agent. The hope was that this specialist predator could help manage the populations of invasive American and Australian cockroaches that had become significant pests on the islands. While the wasp did establish a permanent population there, its impact on cockroach numbers has been less dramatic than initially anticipated, partly because its solitary nature limits its ability to suppress large, dense infestations. Its presence in Hawaii remains a fascinating case study in the complexities of introducing non-native species for pest control. Today, the wasp continues to be studied in its native habitats and in the regions where it has been introduced. Its presence serves as an indicator of a healthy, functioning ecosystem where complex predator-prey relationships can be sustained. From the sun-drenched savannas of Africa to the bustling gardens of Honolulu, Ampulex compressa carries on its ancient life cycle, a testament to nature's ability to create highly specialized organisms perfectly suited to their environment. Its geographical story is one of ancient origins, opportunistic adaptation, and a journey across oceans, all driven by its singular, unwavering focus on the subjugation of its cockroach host. To truly understand the Emerald Cockroach Wasp, we must look at its place within the vast and diverse insect order Hymenoptera, which includes ants, bees, and other wasps. Specifically, Ampulex compressa belongs to a small and relatively primitive family known as Ampulicidae, commonly referred to as cockroach wasps. Unlike the highly social wasps, such as hornets or yellowjackets that live in large cooperative colonies, the members of Ampulicidae are solitary hunters. Each female operates alone, responsible for every aspect of her reproductive cycle, from hunting and paralyzing the prey, to preparing the nest and laying her egg. This solitary lifestyle shapes every facet of her behavior and biology. The Ampulicidae family is distinguished by this unique and highly specialized method of preying on cockroaches. While other parasitic wasps target caterpillars, spiders, or beetles, the cockroach wasps have evolved exclusively to exploit this one particular group of insects. This specialization is a hallmark of their lineage, an evolutionary path that has led to the development of the precise anatomical and chemical tools needed to subdue such a resilient and fast-moving opponent. The family contains over 200 described species, all of which share this fundamental characteristic of being solitary parasitoids of cockroaches, each with its own subtle variations on this central theme of neurological manipulation and control. As a parasitoid, the emerald cockroach wasp occupies a specific ecological niche that is distinct from both a true parasite and a typical predator. A true parasite, like a flea or a tapeworm, lives on or in its host without necessarily killing it. A predator, like a lion or a spider, kills its prey outright for immediate consumption. The parasitoid strategy lies somewhere in between these two extremes. The wasp's larva feeds on its host while keeping it alive for as long as possible, only delivering the final blow as it nears maturity. This gruesome but effective method ensures the food source remains fresh throughout the larva's development, maximizing its chances of survival to adulthood. The solitary nature of the emerald cockroach wasp means it does not rely on the strength of a colony for defense or hunting. It has no hive to protect, no queen to serve, and no army of sisters to call upon for aid. Every encounter with a cockroach is a one-on-one duel, a high-stakes gamble where the wasp must rely solely on its own skill, speed, and specialized venom. This independence is a defining feature of its family, setting it apart from its more famous social relatives and highlighting a different but equally successful evolutionary pathway, one that favors individual prowess and clandestine precision over the collective power of the swarm. At first glance, the emerald cockroach wasp captivates with its sheer beauty. Its body, measuring a modest 2 to 3 centimeters in length, is adorned with a brilliant metallic exoskeleton that shimmers in shades of emerald green and sapphire blue. This dazzling coloration is not pigment, but is created by the very structure of its cuticle, which refracts light to produce its iridescent sheen. While this striking appearance might seem like a purely aesthetic trait, it can also serve as a form of camouflage in the dappled sunlight of its forest floor habitat, breaking up its outline and helping it blend in with shimmering leaves as it lies in wait for its unsuspecting prey. Beyond its color, the wasp's body is a masterclass in functional design, perfectly evolved for its unique lifestyle. It possesses a slender, agile frame with long, spiny legs that provide excellent grip and leverage when grappling with a much larger cockroach. Its head is equipped with large compound eyes that grant it a wide field of vision, crucial for spotting prey and navigating complex environments. The powerful mandibles, while used for feeding on nectar and chewing antenna stubs, are also instrumental in manipulating objects like pebbles and twigs to seal the entrance to its burrow, showcasing their versatility as both feeding and construction tools. Every part of its anatomy is finely tuned for its solitary hunting mission. The most critical feature of its anatomy, however, is the stinger, or ovipositor. In female wasps, this structure serves a dual purpose. It is both a weapon for injecting venom and a delicate instrument for laying eggs. Unlike the defensive stingers of bees, which are often barbed and detach after use, the emerald wasp's stinger is smooth and needle-like, allowing it to be used multiple times without injury to the wasp. It is connected directly to the venom sac, but is also incredibly flexible and maneuverable, capable of probing with pinpoint accuracy to locate the precise nerve ganglia within the cockroach's body, a testament to its evolution as a surgical tool rather than a crude weapon. This combination of beauty and brutal efficiency defines the physical nature of Ampulex compressa. It is an organism where form and function are inextricably linked. The metallic sheen that catches the eye is part of a body built for speed, grappling, and precise neurological intervention. Its delicate appearance belies the strength in its legs, the power in its mandibles, and the deadly precision of its stinger. The wasp is a living paradox, a creature whose aesthetic appeal is matched only by the chilling perfection of its biological weaponry, a true jewel in nature's vast arsenal of predators. The scientific name given to this remarkable insect, Ampulex compressa, provides clues to its identity and physical characteristics, as is often the case in biological taxonomy. The genus name Ampulex originates from the Latin word for a type of gnat or small fly, a somewhat general term for a small winged insect. This genus belongs to the aforementioned Ampulicidae family, firmly placing it among its cockroach hunting relatives. The species name, Compressa, is Latin for compressed or flattened, likely referring to the slightly flattened shape of the wasp's abdomen, a subtle anatomical feature that distinguishes it from other closely related species within its genus. While its scientific name offers a formal classification, the wasp is known by several more descriptive common names that vividly capture its essence. The most widely used moniker, the Emerald Cockroach Wasp, is a direct and evocative description of its two most defining features, its stunning green color and its singular choice of prey. This name immediately paints a picture for anyone who hears it, summarizing its appearance and ecological role in a few simple words. It is a name that is both accurate and memorable, making it highly effective for public and educational communication about this fascinating creature. Another popular name, the jewel wasp, focuses entirely on its breathtaking appearance. This name strips away the more sinister aspect of its life cycle and instead celebrates the iridescent gem-like quality of its exoskeleton. It speaks to the sense of wonder and beauty the insect inspires upon first sight, before one becomes aware of its macabre reproductive habits. This name highlights the duality of the wasp's nature, an object of aesthetic admiration that also happens to be a highly efficient and deadly parasitoid. It reminds us that in nature, beauty and brutality are often two sides of the same evolutionary coin. Ultimately, whether it is called Ampulex compressa in a scientific paper, the Emerald Cockroach Wasp in a documentary, or the Jewel Wasp by an admiring naturalist, each name contributes to the rich story of this insect. The scientific name anchors it within the tree of life, connecting it to its evolutionary history and relatives. The common names, on the other hand, make its story accessible and compelling, translating its biological identity into language that conveys its visual splendor and its chilling purpose. Together, these names form a complete identity for one of nature's most intriguing and sophisticated hunters. To comprehend the chilling efficiency of the Emerald Cockroach Wasp, we must first examine the sophisticated biological arsenal it carries. This is not the crude weaponry of a brawler but the refined toolkit of a master surgeon, where each component is perfectly adapted for a highly specific task. The wasp's body is, in essence, a living, breathing biological weapon system designed for one purpose: the complete subjugation of a cockroach. At the heart of this system is the stinger, a structure that is far more complex than a simple needle for injecting poison. In the female wasp, this organ, known as an ovipositor, is a marvel of multifunctional evolutionary design, serving as both a hypodermic needle and a delicate egg-laying tube. Unlike the barbed, single-use stingers found in honeybees, which are designed for suicidal defense, the Emerald Cockroach Wasp's stinger is smooth, slender, and retractable. This allows it to be used repeatedly without causing harm to the wasp herself, a critical feature for a solitary hunter who may need to make multiple attempts to secure a host for her offspring. The stinger is incredibly flexible, capable of being maneuvered with extraordinary dexterity. This enables the wasp to probe and navigate the cockroach's tough exoskeleton to reach precise, deeply seated neurological targets. It is less a dagger and more a sophisticated, flexible catheter designed for precision rather than brute force, making it the perfect instrument for its delicate and deadly work. Complementing the stinger are the wasp's powerful mandibles. While not directly involved in the envenomation process, they play a crucial supporting role in this biological assault. These sharp, pincer-like jaws are used to grip and immobilize the cockroach during the initial attack, preventing the much larger insect from escaping before the venom can take full effect. After the zombification is complete, these same mandibles are repurposed. They are used to carefully sever the tips of the cockroach's antennae, not just for a nutrient-rich drink of hemolymph, but also to create a leash by which the wasp can lead its victim. This dual-use capability highlights the incredible efficiency of the wasp's anatomy, where every tool serves multiple strategic purposes. Finally, the wasp's long, spiny legs are an essential part of its toolkit. They are not simply for walking or perching, they are grappling hooks, designed to latch onto the smooth, waxy body of a cockroach and maintain a firm hold during their brief but intense struggle. The spines provide superior traction, allowing the wasp to anchor itself securely as it positions its abdomen to deliver the two critical stings. Without this powerful grip, the cockroach could easily throw off its smaller attacker before the neurological takeover could be initiated. Together, the stinger, mandibles, and legs form a coordinated system, a complete toolkit for capture, control, and manipulation, ensuring the wasp remains firmly in command from start to finish. The true genius of the Emerald Cockroach Wasp lies not just in its physical tools, but in the invisible weapon it wields, its venom. This is not a simple poison designed to cause pain or death. It is a highly complex and precisely formulated neurotoxin, a chemical cocktail engineered by millions of years of evolution to achieve a very specific outcome. The venom is a masterpiece of biochemistry, capable of hijacking the cockroach's nervous system with astonishing subtlety. Instead of causing a massive system-wide shutdown, it targets specific neural pathways, effectively dismantling the cockroach's will to live while leaving its basic motor functions and life support systems intact. This ensures the host remains a fresh, living incubator. The venom is composed of a unique blend of proteins and peptides that work in a two-stage process, corresponding to the 2 stings the wasp delivers. The first injection contains compounds that induce a short-term reversible paralysis of the front legs. This initial dose is fast-acting, giving the wasp the critical window of time it needs to deliver the second, more important sting, without the cockroach fleeing. This initial chemical assault is temporary by design, as the wasp needs the cockroach to be able to walk later on. It is a calculated, strategic move to momentarily incapacitate the victim, setting the stage for the main event of neurological manipulation that is to follow. The second dose of venom, delivered directly to the brain, is where the true zombification occurs. This part of the cocktail contains a key component that specifically blocks the receptors for a neurotransmitter called octopamine. In insects, octopamine is crucial for initiating complex voluntary movements and is a key player in the fight-or-flight response. By blocking its function, the wasp's venom doesn't paralyze the cockroach in a physical sense, it paralyzes its will. The cockroach loses all motivation to escape, to run, or even to right itself if it falls over. It becomes a creature of profound apathy, a body without a driver, waiting for instructions. Furthermore, scientists have discovered that the venom has other remarkable properties. It possesses potent antimicrobial qualities, which prevent the growth of bacteria and fungi on the living cockroach while it is entombed in the burrow. This chemical preservative action is vital, as it ensures that the larva's food source does not rot or become infected before it has finished its development. The venom, therefore, is not just a tool for subjugation. It is also a tool for preservation. It is a multifaceted chemical weapon that paralyzes, zombifies, and sanitizes its victim, making it one of the most sophisticated and ruthlessly efficient biochemical compounds in the natural world. The wasp's antennae are more than feelers. They're advanced sensory organs, acting as a targeting system for both finding prey and delivering venom. With thousands of chemoreceptors, the antennae detect cockroach pheromones, track their trails, and assess potential hosts up close. Before attacking, the wasp taps the cockroach with her antennae, gathering crucial information about its suitability as a host. During the second sting, the antennae and stinger work together, guiding the venom precisely into the cockroach's brain. This sensory sophistication allows the wasp to perform a feat of biological neurosurgery, ensuring her venom hits its mark. Without this guidance system, the wasp's entire strategy would fail. The antennae are the unsung heroes of her deadly precision. The wasp's attack begins with a lightning-fast sting to the cockroach's thorax, targeting the nerve cluster that controls its front legs. The venom induces rapid temporary paralysis, collapsing the cockroach's ability to run. This tactical strike neutralizes the prey's escape, buying the wasp precious time for her next move. The wasp's agility and precision are on full display as she maneuvers past the cockroach's defenses to deliver this blow. With the cockroach hobbled, the wasp gains control, setting the stage for the next more sinister phase. This first sting isn't the main event, but it's the critical opening act in the wasp's methodical attack. Only now can she proceed to the true target, the cockroach's mind. With the cockroach's legs disabled, the wasp moves to its head, preparing for her masterstroke. Using her antennae and stinger, she locates the precise neural clusters in the cockroach's brain. The second sting delivers a specialized venom that doesn't kill, but rewires the cockroach's motivation, erasing its will to escape. The cockroach awakens, fully mobile but eerily passive, its instincts for self-preservation gone. This single, targeted injection transforms the cockroach into a docile vessel for the wasp's offspring. The wasp's strategy is not brute force but neurological hijacking, a chilling display of evolutionary precision. The cockroach is now a living tool, its mind enslaved by a perfectly placed sting. The Emerald Cockroach Wasp is a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering, each body part contributing to a seamless, deadly system. Antennae detect and assess prey, legs and mandibles secure it, and the stinger delivers a two-stage chemical assault. This integration allows the wasp to subdue a much larger animal with surgical precision, not brute strength. By targeting the mind, the wasp conserves energy and ensures her larva has a living, mobile food source. The wasp's anatomy is a toolkit honed for one purpose: to manipulate and control another creature's fate. Studying this wasp reveals the terrifying ingenuity of natural selection, where precision, not power, is the ultimate weapon. With the cockroach subdued, the wasp performs a calculated act. She chews off half of each antenna and drinks the hemolymph that seeps out. This grisly meal replenishes her energy after the exhausting hunt and provides a final health check on her host. The hemolymph's taste tells the wasp if the cockroach is fit to sustain her larva. The cockroach, now a passive puppet, shows no resistance as its antennae are severed. This ritual ensures the wasp's investment is sound and her offspring will have the best chance of survival. The wasp's control is absolute. The cockroach is now both larder and living vessel. The wasp grasps a severed antenna stump and tugs. The cockroach obediently follows, its will erased. This zombie march is not forced. The cockroach walks itself to its grave, guided by the wasp's subtle pulls. The journey can be long, but the cockroach never resists, its powerful legs now serving its captor. The wasp conserves energy, outsourcing the hardest labor to her victim. The cockroach's motor functions remain, but its mind is no longer its own. The wasp is the driver. The cockroach, a vehicle with no will. This haunting procession is the final act of the wasp's perfect control, a living creature led to its doom by the master of manipulation. The slow, deliberate procession finally concludes when the wasp and its zombified charge arrive at their destination, a small burrow or crevice that the female wasp has either found or excavated herself. This humble hole in the ground is to become a multi-purpose chamber, a prison, a nursery, and ultimately a tomb. The wasp's role now shifts from that of a hunter and puppeteer to that of a crypt keeper, meticulously preparing the final resting place for her living host. She guides the cockroach directly into the dark opening, a final chilling act of leading the lamb to the slaughter, and the compliant victim enters without any hesitation. Once the cockroach is inside the burrow, the wasp performs a series of final checks and preparations. She may groom the cockroach's body, cleaning it of any dirt or debris that may have accumulated during their journey. This behavior is not an act of kindness, it is a vital part of ensuring the nursery remains sterile. By removing potential contaminants, the wasp reduces the risk of fungal or bacterial infections that could kill the cockroach prematurely and spoil the food source for her developing larva. Every action is precise and purposeful, aimed at maximizing her offspring's chances of survival in this carefully controlled environment. The environment within the burrow is honestly critical. It must be dark, protected from the elements, and safe from other predators or scavengers who might stumble upon the helpless cockroach. The wasp's choice of location is therefore not random. She selects a site that offers stability and seclusion, ensuring that her larva will be able to develop undisturbed for the many weeks it will take to mature. The venom's preservative effects continue to work on the cockroach, slowing its metabolism and preventing decay, but a secure physical location is the first line of defense against external threats that could disrupt this delicate process. The cockroach, meanwhile, remains in its state of passive waiting. It stands motionless inside the dark, confined space, a prisoner in its own body. Its life functions continue, its heart beats, it breathes, and its tissues remain alive. But its mind is a blank slate. It has been delivered to its own grave, a living tomb where it will serve as the first and only meal for the wasp's progeny. The wasp's meticulous work as a crypt keeper ensures that this living pantry will remain fresh and secure, a perfect self-contained nursery for the next generation to begin its gruesome life cycle. With the cockroach securely positioned inside the prepared crypt, the Emerald Cockroach Wasp embarks on the ultimate purpose of this entire elaborate process, laying her egg. This is the culmination of all her efforts: the hunt, the stings, the neurological manipulation, and the journey. As a solitary insect, she will produce relatively few offspring in her lifetime, so the success of each one is of paramount importance. She carefully approaches the docile cockroach one last time, her movements deliberate and precise. Her legacy depends entirely on this final critical act of oviposition, the careful placement of her single precious heir. The wasp uses her sensitive antennae and the tip of her abdomen to find the perfect location on the cockroach's body. The site must be chosen with care. It needs to be a spot where the exoskeleton is soft enough for the newly hatched larva to burrow through, yet protected enough to keep the egg safe from physical damage. The most common location is on the underside of the cockroach's abdomen, nestled securely in the joint where one of its middle legs connects to its body. This crevice offers both protection and a prime point of entry for the larva when it hatches. Once the ideal spot is selected, the wasp extends her ovipositor, the same organ that doubles as her stinger, and carefully deposits a single tiny white egg. The egg, only about 2 millimeters long, is coated with a powerful adhesive that glues it firmly in place. This ensures it will not be accidentally dislodged by any minor movements or shifts within the burrow. The placement is so precise that the larva, upon hatching, will be perfectly positioned to begin its gruesome task. The wasp has not just provided a meal, she has served it on a platter, ensuring the starting point for her offspring is as advantageous as possible. This act of laying a single egg represents a profound evolutionary trade-off. Instead of producing hundreds of eggs and leaving their survival to chance, the Emerald Cockroach Wasp invests an immense amount of time and energy into ensuring the success of just one. The entire zombification process is an incredibly high-investment parental care strategy. By providing a living, protected, and preserved food source, she dramatically increases the odds that this single offspring will survive to maturity. It is a strategy of quality over quantity, a testament to the evolutionary power of providing the perfect start in life. After depositing her single, precious egg onto the abdomen of the zombified cockroach, the female wasp's maternal duties are nearly complete. But one crucial task remains. She cannot simply abandon the burrow, leaving her offspring and its living food supply vulnerable to the outside world. To protect her investment, she must seal the entrance to the crypt, effectively entombing the cockroach alive. This final act of maternal care is a demonstration of her remarkable strength and ingenuity, ensuring her progeny will develop in a safe and secluded environment, shielded from both predators and the elements. The wasp exits the burrow and immediately begins searching the surrounding area for suitable materials to construct a barrier. Using her powerful mandibles, she gathers small pebbles, twigs, bits of leaf litter, and grains of dirt. She works tirelessly, carrying each item one by one back to the entrance of the nest. This is not a random pile of debris, it is a carefully constructed plug. She meticulously arranges the materials, fitting them together like pieces of a puzzle to create a solid and camouflaged seal. This barrier serves to hide the nest's location from ants, spiders, or other foraging creatures that would gladly make a meal of the helpless cockroach or the vulnerable egg. This construction process can be incredibly laborious, often taking the wasp a significant amount of time and energy. She may have to move pebbles that are heavier than her own body, demonstrating surprising physical strength. Her persistence is a testament to the powerful instinct driving her to protect her offspring. The sealed entrance not only keeps predators out but also helps to maintain a stable microclimate within the burrow, regulating humidity and temperature, which are, critical for the healthy development of both the egg and the larva that will soon hatch from it. It is a fortress built with the care of a devoted mother. Once the entrance is securely sealed and camouflaged to her satisfaction, the wasp's job is finally done. She has hunted, zombified, led and entombed her host, laid her egg and secured the nursery. With her genetic legacy safely provided for, she will fly off, leaving the sealed tomb behind. She will likely repeat this entire exhaustive process several more times during her short lifespan. Her part in this particular story is over, but for the cockroach and the egg it now carries, the most horrific chapter is just about to begin, hidden away from the world in a dark, silent chamber. Inside the sealed, dark burrow, an eerie stillness descends. The cockroach, now a prisoner in its own body and tomb, enters a state of profound suspended animation. It is alive, but only in the most technical sense. The wasp's venom continues to course through its system, meticulously regulating its biology for a single purpose: to serve as a long-lasting food source. The neurotoxins not only suppress the cockroach's will, but also dramatically slow down its metabolism. Its heart rate drops, its respiration becomes shallow, and its energy consumption plummets to a bare minimum. This chemically induced hibernation is crucial for its preservation. This slowed metabolic state is one of the most remarkable effects of the venom. It ensures that the cockroach will not starve or dehydrate, allowing it to survive for weeks without food or water in a state of living preservation. Furthermore, the venom contains powerful antimicrobial and antifungal compounds. These chemicals prevent the growth of harmful microorganisms on or inside the cockroach's body, effectively keeping the living larder from spoiling. The wasp has not just zombified its victim, it has turned it into a perfectly preserved, sterile incubator, a marvel of biochemical engineering designed to keep the meal fresh until it is ready to be consumed. During this waiting period, which lasts for about 3 days, the cockroach remains completely immobile. It does not attempt to dig its way out, nor does it make any effort to remove the egg that is glued to its abdomen. Its own survival instincts have been completely and irrevocably silenced. It is a living, breathing statue, a silent guardian of the very creature that will soon devour it from the inside out. This period of quiet waiting is the calm before the storm, a silent prelude to the gruesome next chapter of the wasp larva's life, which will begin once it hatches from its egg. This state of controlled stasis is the final and perhaps most chilling aspect of the wasp's domination. It has successfully transformed a dynamic, living creature into a passive biological vessel. The cockroach is no longer an organism with its own drives and purposes. It is merely a life support system for the wasp's offspring. The waiting game inside the dark tomb highlights the absolute success of the wasp's strategy. The control is total, the preparation is flawless, and the stage is now perfectly set for the emergence of the next generation of this incredible, terrifying insect. For 3 long days, the sealed burrow remains a silent tableau of suspended life, a dark chamber where the zombified cockroach waits in a state of chemically induced placidity. But this quiet period is destined to end. Inside the tiny white egg glued securely to the cockroach's abdomen, a new life has been developing, fueled by its own yolk reserves. The waiting game concludes as the wasp larva, now fully formed within its delicate chorion, begins to stir. This is the moment of emergence, the grisly awakening that signals the beginning of the end for the living host. The larva chews its way out of the eggshell, a minuscule maggot-like creature entering a world that consists entirely of its first and only meal. The newly hatched larva is a simple organism, blind, legless, and seemingly helpless. Yet it is perfectly equipped for the gruesome task ahead. Its primary features are a soft, segmented body, and a pair of powerful mouthparts designed for chewing and sucking. Its instincts are singular and brutally efficient. It must feed, and it must grow. The larva does not wander or explore its surroundings. Its entire existence is now tethered to the living body of the cockroach. Its mother's incredible efforts have delivered it to this precise point, a tablescape of living flesh, where it can begin its development in relative safety, completely shielded from the dangers of the outside world. Its first action upon hatching is to pierce the soft cuticle of the cockroach at the very spot where the egg was laid. It creates a small wound, a gateway to the nutrient-rich hemolymph that flows just beneath the surface. The cockroach, still under the complete control of the wasp's venom, does not react to this new violation. It feels no pain and makes no attempt to dislodge the tiny parasite that has begun to feed upon it. This passive acceptance is crucial, as any defensive action from the much larger host could easily crush the delicate larva. The zombification continues to serve its purpose, ensuring the host remains a cooperative and unresisting food source for its developing executioner. This initial stage of feeding is external. For the next 4 to 5 days, the larva will remain on the outside of the cockroach's body, latched onto the wound it has created. It grows rapidly during this time, drinking the hemolymph to build up the strength and size it will need for the next, more invasive phase of its life cycle. This period allows the larva to mature in a relatively controlled manner before it undertakes the far more complex and dangerous task of burrowing deep inside its host's body cavity. The grisly awakening has occurred, and the clock has started ticking on the cockroach's final days as the tiny larva begins its relentless feast. During its first week of life, the wasp larva engages in a carefully orchestrated external feast, a crucial period of growth that prepares it for the more invasive stages to come. Attached to the cockroach's abdomen, it functions like a living tap, continuously drawing hemolymph from the small hole it has created. This insect blood is rich in proteins and lipids, providing the perfect fuel for the larva's rapid development. It molts several times during this phase, shedding its skin to accommodate its quickly increasing size. Each molt marks a new instar, or developmental stage, bringing it one step closer to the moment it will venture inside its living host for the main course of its macabre banquet. The larva's feeding is not a chaotic or messy affair. It is remarkably clean and efficient, a testament to the evolutionary pressures that have shaped this interaction. The small wound is kept clear, and the larva consumes the fluids with minimal spillage, which helps prevent the growth of bacteria or fungi that could compromise the health of its living pantry. The continued presence of the mother wasp's venom in the cockroach's system likely aids in this process, its antimicrobial properties creating a sterile environment for the larva's external development. This ensures that the only threat to the cockroach's life is the very creature it is nourishing, a perfectly controlled and isolated parasitic relationship. Throughout this external feeding period, the cockroach remains alive and, for all intents and purposes, healthy, aside from the slow drain of its bodily fluids. Its vital organs are untouched, and its core life functions continue to operate under the influence of the venom's metabolic suppression. This phase of the life cycle is a delicate balancing act. The larva must consume enough nutrients to grow strong, but not so much that it kills the host prematurely. The survival of the larva is completely dependent on the survival of the cockroach, a parasitic paradox that governs its feeding behavior. It is a slow, methodical drain, not a voracious attack. After about a week of this external feasting, the larva has grown significantly. It has transformed from a minuscule, almost translucent hatchling into a much larger, more robust grub. It has now reached a critical point in its development where the hemolymph alone is no longer sufficient to sustain its growth. To reach the next stage of its life, it requires more substantial sustenance: the internal organs and fatty tissues of the cockroach itself. Having built up its strength and size, the larva is now ready to abandon the relative safety of the host's exterior and embark on the most perilous part of its journey, burrowing into the inner sanctum. Having reached a sufficient size and strength from its external feast of hemolymph, the wasp larva initiates the most dramatic and invasive phase of its development. It is now time to enter the inner sanctum of its living host. The larva widens the original feeding hole or chews a new larger opening in the soft cuticle of the cockroach's abdomen. With methodical determination, it begins to force its way inside the body cavity, a slow and deliberate process of infiltration. This is a point of no return. Once inside, its fate is completely intertwined with that of the cockroach, its survival dependent on what it finds within the living, breathing larder. The transition from an external to an internal parasite is fraught with risk. The larva must navigate a complex internal environment filled with organs, muscles, and the host's own immune system. Although the wasp's venom suppresses many of the cockroach's functions, some internal immune responses may still pose a threat. The larva must overcome these challenges to establish itself safely within the abdominal cavity. Its successful entry marks a significant escalation in the parasitic relationship, as it now has direct access to the most nutritious parts of the cockroach's body, the resources it needs to fuel its final growth spurt before pupation. Once inside, the larva finds itself in a world perfectly prepared for its arrival. It is surrounded by fatty tissues and non-essential organs, a veritable banquet laid out by its mother's careful planning and potent venom. The still beating heart of the cockroach circulates nutrients, and the respiratory system continues to supply oxygen, keeping the internal environment fresh and viable. The larva is now fully immersed in its food source, a living creature that has become nothing more than a biological container, a life support system whose sole purpose is to nourish its own destroyer from the inside out. The horror of the situation escalates from external parasite to internal devourer. For the cockroach, this is the beginning of the final, irreversible decline. Though it remains alive, it is now being hollowed out from within. Its body is no longer its own. It has become a living nursery and a dining hall for the wasp larva. Yet, due to the complete neurological shutdown orchestrated by the venom, the cockroach registers nothing of this internal invasion. It remains in its zombie-like trance, a silent, unfeeling vessel for the gruesome drama unfolding within its own body. The larva has successfully breached the gates and is now poised to begin its calculated consumption of the host's inner tissues. Now nestled within the cockroach's body cavity, The wasp larva commences the most critical part of its feeding strategy, a calculated and systematic consumption of the host's internal tissues. This is not a frenzied, random feast. The larva displays an astonishingly precise, innate understanding of the cockroach's anatomy. It instinctively avoids consuming the vital organs such as the heart and the central nervous system until the very end. Its initial targets are the fat bodies, energy-rich deposits within the insect's abdomen, and the non-essential muscle tissues. This strategy is the key to its survival, as it ensures the host remains alive for as long as possible. By preserving the cockroach's vital systems, the larva guarantees that its food supply will not decay or spoil. The host's heart continues to beat, circulating fresh hemolymph, and its respiratory system continues to function, keeping the tissues oxygenated and fresh. This methodical consumption is a masterpiece of evolutionary programming, a perfect solution to the challenge of storing food without refrigeration. The larva is essentially eating its host to death in the slowest, most efficient way imaginable, ensuring that every last calorie is extracted from a living, functioning biological system. It is a gruesome but brilliant strategy of resource management. As the larva grows, its appetite increases, and it consumes more and more of the cockroach's internal structures. The host is slowly hollowed out, becoming little more than an empty shell, a fragile exoskeleton containing the rapidly growing parasite. Despite this catastrophic internal damage, the zombified cockroach remains outwardly inert, its life sustained by the few vital organs the larva has strategically saved for last. This period can last for several days, during which the larva's size increases exponentially until it eventually fills most of the cockroach's abdominal and thoracic cavities, a monstrous presence within the husk of its victim. Only when the larva has reached its maximum size and is ready to enter the next stage of its life does it deliver the coup de grace. In its final feeding bout, it consumes the remaining vital organs, finally extinguishing the last sparks of life from its long-suffering host. The cockroach, which has served as a living incubator and pantry for weeks, finally perishes. Its purpose has been fulfilled. It has successfully nourished its killer to maturity, its body sacrificed entirely for the continuation of the wasp's lineage. The calculated consumption is complete, and the larva is now ready for its final transformation. Having consumed the last of the cockroach's internal tissues and grown to its full size, the wasp larva is now ready to undergo its final profound transformation. Its feeding stage is over, and the next phase of its life, pupation, must begin. The larva, now a large plump grub filling the hollowed-out exoskeleton of its host, prepares to build a protective casing for itself. It will transform from a soft-bodied larva into a hardened pupa, the stage where its body will be completely reorganized into the form of an adult wasp. This metamorphosis will take place within the safe, armored confines of the cockroach's corpse. The larva begins to secrete a silky, fibrous substance from specialized glands. It weaves this material around itself, creating a thick, durable cocoon. This cocoon is constructed entirely within the cockroach's exoskeleton, which now serves as a ready-made protective crypt. The larva orients itself carefully within the husk, ensuring it has enough space to build its silken fortress. The cocoon is a marvel of engineering, a barrel-shaped structure that is both strong and resilient, designed to protect the vulnerable pupa from dehydration, physical damage, and any potential threats that might breach the burrow's seal during the long developmental period ahead. Once the cocoon is complete, the larva inside sheds its skin one last time, transforming into a pupa. In this seemingly dormant state, one of nature's most miraculous processes takes place. The larval body is broken down and its tissues are completely reconfigured. Wings, legs, antennae, the complex compound eyes, and the metallic green exoskeleton of an adult wasp all begin to form. This incredible process of metamorphosis is fueled entirely by the energy and nutrients the larva meticulously harvested from its cockroach host. The corpse of the victim has provided everything needed to create the next generation of the predator. This pupal stage lasts for approximately 4 weeks. Inside the dark, silent burrow, within the hollowed-out shell of the cockroach, within the silken cocoon, the new wasp develops. The entire chamber has become a multi-layered tomb and womb, a testament to the mother wasp's foresight. The cockroach's body has provided not only food, but also a final, protective shelter for its killer's transformation. The cycle is nearing its completion, and soon, a fully formed adult emerald cockroach wasp will be ready to chew its way out of the cocoon, emerge from the husk, and begin the ancient, terrifying life cycle all over again. The bizarre life cycle of the Emerald Cockroach Wasp inevitably elicits powerful reactions from those who learn of it. A potent mixture of scientific fascination and, well, visceral horror. For many, the initial response is one of disbelief, almost a sense that such a creature could not possibly exist outside the realm of cinematic fiction. The process of zombification of one creature so completely dominating the mind and body of another strikes at a deep-seated human fear of losing one's own autonomy. It's kind of a real-world manifestation of a body snatcher, a concept that's been a cornerstone of horror storytelling for generations. This intersection of revulsion and awe makes the wasp an unforgettable subject of study. This profound sense of unease really stems from our innate capacity for empathy. When we witness the wasp's methodical subjugation of the cockroach, we can't help but project ourselves into the victim's position. The idea of being alive but not in control, of being a helpless passenger in one's own body as it is led to a tomb and consumed from within, is a deeply disturbing thought. The wasp's strategy is not a quick, merciful kill. It is a prolonged, calculated process of enslavement and consumption. This slow, deliberate horror is far more unsettling to the human psyche than simple predation, tapping into primal anxieties about control, consciousness, and the sanctity of the self. At the same time, this very horror is what makes the wasp so endlessly fascinating. Biologists and nature enthusiasts are captivated by the sheer elegance and brutal efficiency of its evolutionary strategy. It represents a pinnacle of specialization, a creature that has honed its skills to an unbelievable degree of precision. The wasp's life cycle is a perfect, if terrifying, example of natural selection's power to produce complex behaviors and biochemical tools. For scientists, the emotional response is often tempered by a profound respect for the intricate biological mechanisms at play, viewing it not as an act of cruelty, but as a masterpiece of survival engineering that demands to be understood. Ultimately, our reaction to the Emerald Cockroach Wasp holds up a mirror to our own perceptions of nature. It forces us to confront the fact that the natural world operates on principles far removed from human morality. Concepts of good and evil, cruelty and mercy are human constructs that simply do not apply to the relentless drive for survival. The wasp is neither malevolent nor sadistic. It is simply successful. Our dual reaction of fascination and fear is a testament to the wasp's power to challenge our worldview, reminding us that nature's ingenuity can be as beautiful as it is brutal, and as brilliant as it is profoundly disturbing. Given its chillingly effective method of control, it's really no surprise that the Emerald Cockroach Wasp has transcended the world of biology to become a powerful symbol in human culture and fiction. Its life cycle serves as a perfect metaphor for themes of manipulation, possession, and the loss of free will. In literature and film, parasitic organisms are often used to represent insidious forces that corrupt from within, whether they be political ideologies, invasive technologies, or even literal alien invaders. The wasp is a real-world archetype for this kind of subtle, unseen control. A creature that doesn't conquer with force, but with a whisper of venom that silences the soul. In the realm of science fiction, the wasp's strategy has provided direct inspiration for countless stories featuring mind control, alien parasites, and zombie-like plagues. The idea of a zombie maker is a recurring trope, and provides a scientifically grounded blueprint for how such a process might actually work. Authors and screenwriters have drawn upon its methods to create terrifying antagonists that can turn friends into puppets and armies into mindless drones. The wasp's surgical precision and its ability to keep the host alive add a layer of sophisticated horror to these fictional narratives, making the threat feel more plausible and, honestly, more frightening to the audience. Beyond direct fictional portrayals, the wasp has also found a place in symbolic thought and mythology. In some cultural interpretations, parasitic wasps can represent a form of unnatural order, a violation of the natural state of being. They symbolize a power that usurps control, turning a living creature into something other than what it was meant to be. This can be seen as a metaphor for possession either by a spirit in a mythological context, or by a controlling idea in a more philosophical one. The wasp embodies the chilling concept that the greatest threat may not be one that destroys you, but one that fundamentally changes you against your will. The enduring power of the wasp as a symbol lies in its quiet, clandestine nature. Unlike a roaring lion or a charging bull, its influence is subtle and internal. It represents the fear of a hidden enemy, a force that can take hold without a visible struggle. This resonates deeply in a modern world where people often feel manipulated by unseen forces, whether that's media, technology, or societal pressures. The Emerald Cockroach Wasp, in its own small, terrifying way, gives a face to this abstract fear, symbolizing the ultimate loss of control to a power that operates from the inside out, a silent puppeteer pulling the strings of its unwilling host. While the Emerald Cockroach Wasp may inspire horror and fiction, its greatest value to humanity lies in the incredible scientific opportunities it presents. For neurobiologists, the wasp's venom is a treasure trove of highly specialized pharmacologically active compounds. It is a naturally occurring toolkit that has been refined over millions of years to manipulate the nervous system with a level of specificity that modern science struggles to replicate. By studying how this venom works, researchers can gain invaluable insights into the fundamental workings of the insect brain, particularly the neural circuits that govern motivation, movement, and instinctual behaviors like the escape response. The most exciting avenue of research involves the potential medical applications of the wasp's neurotoxins. The venom's ability to selectively block octopamine receptors without causing widespread cell death is of particular interest. This suggests the possibility of developing new, highly targeted drugs. For example, understanding how the venom induces a state of profound apathy could, in the distant future, lead to novel treatments for neurological disorders characterized by involuntary movements or muscle spasms. The wasp offers a natural model for how to shut down specific motor pathways while leaving others unaffected, a concept with profound implications for neurosurgery and therapeutic medicine. Furthermore, the study of the wasp-cockroach interaction provides a unique model for research into host-parasite relationships. The delicate balance the wasp and its larvae strike, keeping the host alive for weeks while systematically consuming it, is a marvel of biological regulation. Scientists are investigating the antimicrobial and preservative properties of the venom, which could inspire new methods of food preservation or the development of novel antibiotics. The wasp's ability to create a sterile, long-lasting living larder is a biological solution to a complex problem, and decoding its chemical secrets could yield significant technological and medical breakthroughs for human use. Ultimately, the Emerald Cockroach Wasp serves as a powerful testament to the importance of biodiversity. It is a reminder that even a creature we might initially dismiss as a mere creepy crawly can hold the keys to unlocking profound scientific mysteries. Its unique venom and behaviors are a gift from evolution, offering a window into the intricate chemistry of life and providing a source of inspiration for future innovations. The wasp's chilling life cycle, once understood, transforms from a simple horror story into a complex lesson in neurobiology, pharmacology, and the untapped potential hidden within the natural world. The story of the Emerald Cockroach Wasp offers a profound and essential lesson about the nature of evolution itself. In our human-centric view, we often equate evolutionary success with concepts of brute force, formidable size, or overwhelming power. We admire the lion's strength, the elephant's mass, and the eagle's speed. Yet, the wasp demonstrates that this is a limited and often inaccurate perspective. Nature's grand pageant does not always award the prize to the strongest competitor. Instead, it rewards what is most effective. In the case of Ampulex compressa, evolution has championed a different, more subtle and arguably more sophisticated path to dominance, the path of manipulation. This remarkable insect possesses no great physical strength relative to its prey. It has no crushing jaws, no impenetrable armor, and it does not command the force of a large cooperative colony. A direct physical confrontation with a cockroach on equal terms would likely end in failure for the wasp. Recognizing this, or rather being shaped by selective pressures that favored an alternative, it evolved a strategy that bypasses the need for physical superiority altogether. Its success lies in its ability to exploit a weakness not in the cockroach's body but in its mind. This is the triumph of intelligence over raw power, of strategy over strength. The wasp's entire life cycle is a testament to this principle. It is a multi-act play where each scene is designed to disarm, control, and utilize its victim with the utmost efficiency. From the first paralyzing sting that prevents escape to the master injection that erases the will to flee, every step is a calculated move in a neurological chess game. The wasp doesn't need to be stronger than the cockroach because it convinces the cockroach to stop fighting. It doesn't need to drag the body because it persuades the body to walk itself to its own grave. This is a form of power that is far more absolute than mere physical subjugation. This evolutionary strategy highlights a crucial aspect of the natural world. There are countless ways to survive and thrive. The wasp's method is a chilling reminder that the most effective weapon is not always the one that sheds the most blood, but the one that seizes control. It teaches us that evolution is a far more creative and diverse force than we often imagine, capable of producing solutions that are as intellectually dazzling as they are morally terrifying to our human sensibilities. The Emerald Cockroach Wasp is a living monument to the idea that sometimes the quietest and most precise tool is the most powerful one of all. What the Emerald Cockroach Wasp demonstrates so powerfully is that evolution can foster a form of intelligence that is alien to our own, yet undeniably brilliant. This is not conscious, reflective intelligence as humans understand it, but a deep, innate, and procedural knowledge encoded into its very being. The wasp acts as if it possesses a neurosurgeon's understanding of the cockroach's anatomy, a biochemist's knowledge of neurotoxins, and a psychologist's insight into behavioral manipulation. This knowledge is the product of millions of years of trial and error, an inherited blueprint for success that is executed with flawless precision, generation after generation. Consider the sheer accuracy required for its strategy to work. The first sting must be delivered to a specific thoracic ganglion to induce temporary paralysis. The second, more critical sting must navigate through the cockroach's head to find the subesophageal ganglion, a target no bigger than a pinhead. A slight miss in either case would result in failure. The cockroach might die, escape, or fail to become docile. The wasp performs this incredible feat without MRI scanners or surgical guides, relying instead on a suite of sophisticated sensory organs and an instinctual map of its victim's internal wiring. This is a lesson in the power of specialized, instinctual precision. This unseen intelligence extends beyond the stings. The entire process is a cascade of perfectly timed sequential behaviors. The wasp knows to clip the antennae to feed and to create a leash. It knows to lead the zombified host to a pre-prepared burrow. It knows to lay a single egg in the most advantageous position. It knows to seal the tomb to protect its offspring from predators. Each of these steps is a vital link in a chain of survival, and the wasp executes them without hesitation or deviation. It is a living algorithm, a biological program running with ruthless efficiency toward a single, predetermined outcome. This forces us to broaden our definition of what constitutes an advanced survival strategy. The wasp may not have a complex social structure or the ability to learn in the way a mammal does, but it possesses a different kind of sophistication. Its success is built upon a foundation of hyper-specialization and unwavering procedural accuracy. It is a powerful reminder that in nature, there are many forms of intelligence, and the ability to perfectly execute a complex instinctual routine can be just as effective and just as awe-inspiring as the capacity for conscious thought. The wasp's life is a masterclass in getting every single detail right. As our journey into the world of the Emerald Cockroach Wasp concludes, we are left with a sense of profound wonder, tinged with a lingering unease. We have dissected its methods, analyzed its venom, and marveled at its precision, yet a core mystery remains. This creature, and countless others like it, serves as a powerful testament to the vast, unexplored depths of the natural world. It reminds us that for all our scientific progress and understanding, nature still holds secrets that can rival and often surpass our most imaginative works of science fiction. The wasp is a living embodiment of the idea that truth is often stranger and more terrifying than fiction. The story of this insect is more than just a biological curiosity, it is a humbling lesson in perspective. It reveals a world of intricate dramas and epic struggles for survival that unfold on a scale we rarely notice, just beneath our feet. The wasp's life cycle challenges our anthropocentric biases, forcing us to confront a reality where the rules of existence are written in the unforgiving language of survival, not in the human terms of morality or compassion. It operates within a system of brutal elegance, a system that we are a part of, yet one we can never fully comprehend through our own limited ethical frameworks. If there is one final word to take from the Emerald Cockroach Wasp, it is a call to remain curious. It implores us to look closer at the world around us, to appreciate the complexity hidden in the smallest of creatures, and to respect the incredible diversity of life strategies. The wasp is a gateway to a deeper understanding of evolution's relentless creativity, Its story is a single, chillingly beautiful chapter in the immense, ever-unfolding book of life on Earth, a book filled with countless other tales of horror, wonder, and breathtaking ingenuity that are still waiting to be discovered and told. The microcosmos is not a separate, distant realm, it is the intricate foundation of our own world. The Emerald Cockroach Wasp, in all its terrifying glory, is a master of its domain, a jeweled assassin that has perfected its art over millennia. Its existence is a powerful affirmation that the planet we inhabit is infinitely more complex, more mysterious, and more astonishing than we can ever fully grasp. And so, the only path forward is to keep exploring, to keep questioning, and to stand in perpetual awe of the endless forms, most beautiful and most wonderful, that nature has produced.